All right, let's dive right in. Over the next few minutes, we are going to break down the complete blueprint for starting a halal online business. We're talking the exact roadmap to get you from zero to $10,000 a month, all without ever having to compromise your faith. Let's do this.
So, where did this whole thing even come from? Well, it all started with a promise. See, when the founders were starting out, they were looking everywhere for mentors, but they just couldn't find any. The options were either, super shady or completely haram. So they made a promise to Allah. If they ever made it, they would pay it forward. And this blueprint, this is them keeping that promise.
So, where do we start? Not with a product, not with a fancy logo or a marketing plan. Nope. We start with you. The first and honestly the most critical part of this entire journey is building your own personal foundation. Now, you really got to let this sink in because it's the core principle of everything we're about to talk about. Your business is just a mirror, a direct reflection of you. It literally cannot grow bigger than your own personal growth. You are the ceiling.
And this tree analogy just nails it, doesn't it? Everybody is obsessed with the fruits, the money, the success, all the stuff people can see. But here's the thing. You will never get the fruits if you don't have strong roots. And those roots, that's you. Your mindset, your health, your character, all the hard work that happens underground where nobody is watching, that's where the real growth starts.
So, how do you actually nourish those roots? Well, first up is your intention, your niyyah. Seriously, ask yourself, are you building this to show off with a Lambo, or is it to serve your family and your community? Next is your health. A sick entrepreneur leads a sick business, simple as that. You have to feed your mind with real knowledge, not just junk content. You have to actively break those limiting beliefs holding you back. And finally, your environment, your soil. You can't grow a strong tree in toxic soil, right? You've got to surround yourself with people who lift you up. Okay, so you've done the internal work, your foundation is solid. Now what? Well, now it's time to actually build the business. Phase 2 is all about answering two simple but huge questions. What are you going to sell, and who are you going to sell it to? You've basically got two choices: sell a product or sell a service. And the advice here is super, super clear for beginners. Products, they require a boatload of cash up front. We're talking 10, 20 grand or more for inventory, ads, mistakes. It's a huge gamble. A service, on the other hand, it just costs you your time to learn a skill. It is the perfect low-risk way to get started. And this right here is so crucial to understand how money works. Money is just a byproduct of delivering value. And value comes from solving problems. So stop thinking about what you want to sell and start thinking about what painful, expensive problems you can solve for other people. The bigger and more painful the problem, the more money you can make solving it. But who do you solve that problem for? This is where so many people go wrong. Saying I help everyone is a recipe for helping no one. You have to niche down. Think of it like a funnel. You go from a super broad market, I make websites for everyone, which sounds desperate, down to a niche, like for service businesses. And then you go deeper, a sub-niche. I make websites for car rental companies. All of a sudden, you're not just some generalist anymore. You're the go-to expert, and experts get paid a premium. All right, foundation's built. You know your what and your who. Now it's time for the fun part. It's time to turn this plan into actual profit. Let's talk about the engine that drives every single business: sales. So there are pretty much 4 main ways to get those first clients. You can do cold outreach, emailing or DMing strangers, but the key is to be a real human, not a robot. You can tap into your warm network, friends, family. You'd be surprised who they know. You can create organic content that gets in front of the right people. You don't need a million views. And finally, once you know your offer works, you can use paid ads. But for beginners, the advice is simple. Pick one of these methods and become a master at it. But just getting in front of people isn't enough, right? You need an offer that is so good, they would feel stupid saying no to it. And here's the formula. You have to crank up their dream outcome and their belief that you could actually get them there. At the very same time, you have to slash the time it takes to get a result and the amount of effort they have to put in. When you do this, you basically dismantle all of their objections before they can even think of them. Okay, so you're consistently making money. The system is working. But now, the real game begins. This is where you graduate from just doing all the work yourself. It's time to scale. And that means you have to stop working in your business and start working on your business. And the one word you need to burn into your brain for this phase is leverage. Leverage is how you get more done without you personally doing more work. It's about using systems, people, and your reputation to get results that are way beyond what you could ever do on your own. And there are really three main ways you can create this leverage. First, you've got systems and AI to automate all that repetitive stuff. Second, you can hire people, employees or freelancers, to handle the day-to-day work, freeing you up to think big picture. And third, you build a brand. A brand is that magic that lets you charge more for the exact same thing just because it's coming from you. Okay, we have covered a ton: the foundation, the growth engine, the scaling plan, but there's one last piece of the puzzle. It's kind of the unspoken secret that holds this entire thing together. And you know what? The secret? It's consistency. It's actually kind of boring, but that's the point. Real, lasting success isn't about chasing the new, shiny thing. It's about mastering the boring fundamentals. The most successful people in the world do the same simple, effective things day in, day out, for years, until they are the absolute best at it. It's about relentless focus. And that brings us right back to where we started, doesn't it? This whole blueprint is designed to help you succeed. And the only thing asked in return is that once you make it work, you remember that promise. Pay it forward and help another brother or sister in the community rise up with you.